Welcome to the JCRC webinar on the Nonprofit Security Grant Program in 2014. Today we'll focus on the investment justification. Groups can get grants of up to $75,000. Who's eligible? Number one, 501c3 nonprofit organizations. Number two, in New York, you have to be in the New York UASI, which is New York City, Nassau, Suffolk, and Westchester counties only, and you have to be pre-qualified. Anyone in an area outside of New York should check on our website to find out how to contact their local state. Timing. New York applicants must submit their entire grant by at 11:59 p.m. on May 9th. There's a new pre-qualification process, which takes a minimum of 1 week, probably two, because it takes some time for your application to be reviewed. This requirement is not does not apply in other states. Applicants from other states should consult with your own authorities to find out exactly what the details on your grant are going to be. We've been helpful in the past. We have a website at www.jcrcny.org/security-grants, and on that site we have resources including a checklist to help you make sure that you've figured out everything that you have to do to successfully submit your grant. What can you buy? Well, there are three basic consideration. One is physical security enhancements, alarm systems, CCTVs, bullet-resistant doors and windows, inspection and screening systems, magnetometers, X-ray systems to screen personnel and packages, and finally security-related training. And you have to remember that you have to list the AEL category of the selected equipment on the investment. How will you be judged? Now, there's a lot of verbiage here about the identification and substantiation of prior threats. Two things that are very, very important. Number one, you have to have the findings from a previously conducted threat or vulnerability assessment, and above all else, your final score depends on how thoroughly you answer questions on your investment justification. Now, there are 8 sections which have space specifications, etc. You have to do this on a template which is available. The national template is available on the JCRC website. It's also available from your specific state. You make sure your answers are concise, to the point, but thorough and responsive to each part of the question. And if you leave the question blank or you don't answer a part, you'll receive a 0 for that section. If you only answer a part of the question, then you receive a 0 for a partial credit for that section. The heart of the investment justification is found in 4 sections: background, risk, target hardening, and impact. And those 4 sections really help the government understand that you know what your risk is and you're prepared to do something substantial and something appropriate in order to reduce your risk. There are some magic words in the security business. They're in red here: deterrence, detection, denial, and damage mitigation. If you can really relate all of the elements in background, risk, target hardening, and impact to those 4 magic words, you will have a very strong application. Now, as I said, you have to answer all the questions. And rule number 1 If you don't follow directions, you will lose points for sure. And or your application will either be returned or not considered, depending on your state's rules. Rule number 2 is see rule number 1. Just read the instructions and follow. Now, section 1 is not scored, but you have to answer every one of these questions or you can be disqualified. They're very simple. The only question is what you need a mission statement, because the impact of your organization's ideology, beliefs, or missions may have an impact on the risk of potential threats. The state judges will use your mission statement to help them prioritize the applications. In other words, let me back up for a second. There are a total of 40 points available, plus a bonus point for organizations that have never received a grant before. So of the 40 points, there's a lot of people who could get a 38. Within all of the 38s, the state is asked to rank order the applicants by priority with the using the mission statement, any information the state has, in order to help rank order your submission. So your mission statement is important. You also have to submit it to your state because it's required by the feds. More on that in a little while. Everything else is pretty straightforward. Mission statement. What is a mission statement? It's probably in your bylaws, on your articles of incorporation, in your strategic plan. There's a lot of places where you should have written a mission statement. If your group doesn't have one, there is a document on our website that helps people write a mission statement. Background information, let's just go right to it. This is worth only 2. Not every site has symbolic value. It might have deep symbolic value for your membership. You know, a school can say, not only has the parent of almost every student attended this school. That's true. Most of the families in this synagogue have been members for over a generation. All of these things can contribute to individual symbolic value, or you can say this site has no particular symbolic value. Both answer the question. If you don't answer the question, you might be marked. Background to responding or recovery from terrorist attacks. The Red Cross, for example, is a frontline organization. There are many organizations that are eligible for this grant that have a direct role. Example, Hatzalah Volunteer Ambulance have a direct role. Now, again, if you don't, that's fine. If you supply pastoral counseling for members after a disaster, that's fine. If you did anything particular after Sandy, for example, if you say that you sent volunteers to houses of worship that were devastated by Sandy and your volunteers helped in the cleanup, that's something of your role after a terrorist attack. Again, it's kind of like yes or no. Just explain what it is and you get 2 points. In order to answer these three questions, you need risk assessments. It is required